All right. Well, hey, we're going to keep things moving. And before we introduce Brian and some of our presenters tonight, just want to take a second and give some shout outs to some amazing families that made tonight possible. So we want to recognize Carter and Jamie Barrett, Grant Schmelk, Senator Greg Dalzall, Jeff and Jen Cole, Sheriff Ron Freeman, Dr. David and Teresa Ferguson, Mike and Barbara Hill, Sam and Beverly Mann, Dr. Crawford Loritz, Parker and Nicole McFarland, and Dr. Gary and Ginger Davidson. Can we put our hands together for our gracious, generous host tonight? Well, the man that I'm about to bring up on stage has become quite a dear friend and blessing to my family and I. I moved here from Las Vegas 7 years ago. My wife and I had kind of bounced around working at a couple of different churches around the country, and God brought us back here to the South. We're from Pensacola, Florida, which that's a different kind of Southerner altogether. Those guys have got surf racks and gun racks on the same truck. And so we were back here raising kids, and I was serving in Cumming as a youth pastor. And oddly enough, right about when at the time I moved here, someone introduced me to Brian, and we hung out at a place named Community Cup, which ended up being kind of like a little relational headquarters for us as we started asking questions about how can we help, because there was a handful of teenage suicides in Forsyth County, and some educators began cracking the door open to youth pastors in the area to help solve this problem, to help be a part of the solution. And that's where we got to meet Dr. Ferguson and start learning about how this whisper idea could really teach these students how to be there for one another, how to walk with each other through the burdens of life. And so we started meeting with a group of students at Lambert High School, and I was there at the very first group at the Media Center, hanging out with teenagers and Queso from Moe's and just talking about life. And what I want to do is kind of transport you back in time, because this is where Whisper started. We started training these students to, at the end of class, instead of getting on your phone until the bell rings, why don't you turn around or look to the person beside you and ask them, I don't know, what they had for breakfast. And it was very intimidating for this group of teenagers. You would have thought we were asking them to run a marathon or something. They're like, wait, yeah, I need to just ask them what they had for breakfast? We're like, yeah, you could ask them where they got their shoes. Just start a conversation, right? And so that turned into, hey, what'd you have for breakfast? Or where'd you get that shirt? 6 weeks later, we're having stories about, man, that person that I asked about breakfast is talking to me about self-harm, and I'm going with them to talk to their mom about it. Like real life conversations that all started from something simple, small talk. Why don't you look to the person beside you and ask them what they had for breakfast today? And we'll see where that conversation leads. Yeah. I can't believe y'all actually did it. So here's what we're going to do. In a minute, the founder, the leader of this whole movement is going to come about. And I want you to notice the smiles, the laughters that you're sharing, because I want this to sit with you the way that it sat with me. I'll never forget it. Community Cup. Brian said, a movement is what happens when a group of people steward moments well. And guys, we are at a moment right now. So I pray that we steward this moment well and we see this idea, unstoppable, become the reality of Whisper. Would you guys welcome Brian Davidson?